The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Raw, but real. Let's get it. Mondays at 6 p.m. We get live. We get busy in here. We get live. We get busy in here. We talk. Raw. We talk. Real. Raw but real.
What up, though? What's cracking like this? Hey, guys. Welcome. Shaggy threw me off because, I'm like, where my 3 at? I hate it being just me when it first comes on.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
But you the host and the creator.
I am the producer.
There you go.
Creator and host.
There it is.
Of Robert Real.
And that's why you are single.
There we go.
By yourself in the beginning.
There we are.
No, I think they did that without me. I didn't sign off on that. All right, guys. Welcome to Robert Real. Your host, Rhea.
Hello. The other host, G, baby.
And hello again, Darnell Card, Delectable D's. What's happening?
Y'all, I'm fanning, not because our studio is hot. It's just because I'm having a personal summer.
No, you're not by yourself.
I don't want y'all to be thinking that we just in a hell pit. That's not how the studio is. Miles has a great studio here. I don't want nobody thinking, I ain't going up there, it'd be too hot. Look, y'all, we're going to cut right to the chase. We have a lot of weekend recap. But first things first, we got to make sure we give proper acknowledgement to our engineer.
Hey, Shan.
Shan.
On
What's
1 and 2s always. Making things happen behind the scenes and in front of the camera sometimes because, she has her own podcast as well on Thursdays, 1 p.m.
Thank you.
Give me it one step closer.
Yes. Thank you.
I forget things a lot, but my heart is good.
Yes.
You guys, we have a special guest. And I'm going to be raw and real because my butt forgot. I'm not going to lie. I forgot that we had a guest. But guess what? It fits with the topic. God is good. It fits with the topic. He's going to talk about his own stuff anyway. But
introduction.
This introduction is going to be a short introduction because he's going to introduce himself, dog. Dr. Pastor Eddie Connor.
Well,
It's in the building.
Well, be with y'all.
Let me say this. Now, I first heard of you on my brother's podcast, which is What Up, Though. Shout out to Dice Clark.
Yeah.
Because he was on there. So I reached out and I'm like, hey, want to get him on the show? And he emailed that, publicist, he's fancy. He is a publicist and all those big things. He's a big deal, guys. And I totally forgot. So I humbly apologize on live. But I'm glad that you forgive us.
70 times 7.
There it is.
So that's just a part of it.
Forgive you for you know not what you do.
Thank you.
Right.
Charge it to my head, not my heart, and these heat flashes. It's been a lot. But we're going to get into it because you have done a lot. I do want to go over what you've done. But Shani, put up the topic because I forgot. Hey, y'all. Your girl's going through a lot. We'll talk about that eventually. Not that. That's not the topic. Laughter is good medicine.
It is, though.
It is. I use it a lot.
That's a segment. Hold on.
Wait.
Oh, the topic was, okay, so today, sometimes your tears say more than your words ever could. So today, you guys, we are diving deep into prayers too painful to speak. That is the topic. The ones where your only response is a silent cry. With this being the last day of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I did want to go a little deep today. I sent y'all the text, so I don't need y'all looking that surprised on what y'all thought the topic was going to be.
I read it.
Mm-hmm.
Along with other things.
But I think that was in divine order with the Dr. Pastor being here, because sometimes we get so caught up in things that are too painful to speak about. So we mask them through laughter, through tears, tears of a clown. That's a real statement. So we going a little deep today, y'all. So go on and share, get that friend that you silently want to give them therapy, but don't want to tell them they need therapy. Go ahead and make them watch this episode. Because that's what we're going to talk about. Because, lots of stuff. I saw something. It was a picture of just a piece of paper, and it said, "Dear God," and it had tear marks, like tear drops on it.
Oh, yeah,
and that was it.
that too.
And I was like, that's the topic. Y'all know this is how I get my topics. I pray on them when they come. Sometimes weeks before, sometimes a day or sometimes an hour before. But that's just how it works. I got to work on my planning. And that's why Dr. Pastor could probably help me with that. Because you have to write out sermons, you have to plan sermons, but you also have to be in divine order to receive what you're speaking on, correct?
All the time.
So
All the time.
let's dive into that. How do you prepare? What's your process?
Well, I think you definitely have to be in a place of spiritual development, and that is prayer. Prayer is definitely that portal. But it's also what Friedrich Nietzsche said, have a Bible in the hand and a newspaper in another. And so you got to merge the spiritual with the practical. People are dealing with some real issues.
Yeah.
We're talking about, of course, the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And, you're grappling with that. And it's interesting that PTSD, this is also PTSD Awareness Month.
Oh, wow.
As well. And so many times as men, we're dealing with the silent pains, the silent cries, where we've been told, don't cry.
Right.
Crying is for girls. Don't be emotional. And the only emotion that we've ever been able to express is that of anger.
Wow.
Yeah.
And anger is just one letter away from danger.
Yeah.
And so,
Say it again.
Yeah. And so anger is one letter away from danger. And so we're dealing with not just post-traumatic stress disorder, but present traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
We're dealing with some things personally, and we're dealing with some things presently that a lot of times, you can't talk to your wife about, you can't talk to your woman about, can't talk to your homeboy about. The only person that we allow, even as brothers, to get close to our mind is our barber. It's the closest person we allow to get closest to our head.
Because he right there at your head.
Right
so
there.
he in your mind.
Right there.
I agree with that wholeheartedly because I do hair. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's a therapist.
things that I know and hear.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Lord.
Absolutely. And for me, growing up as a kid, we see pain as weakness leaving the body. And you talk about the tears of a clown, or the tears of just the things that you grapple with. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer as a kid. And my father never visited me one time in the hospital. People I thought were praying for me were literally praying on me. Sitting on the sideline expecting my demise, and lost all my hair, my self-confidence, my self-esteem, my will to live, and didn't even want to drop a tear because, I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough boy, at that time. And so I had to fight this pain of cancer. And without praying, Mom, I wouldn't been here today. I wouldn't be here today. Through the power of God and his healing power, I was able to find the cancer. And I remember a guy walked up to me one day in a convenience store, he inconvenienced me and said these words to me. He said, "I thought you died." Years after me coming out of cancer. Listen, y'all, I was so angry. Didn't say what up, though. Didn't say what's good, bro. Said, "I thought you died." I was getting ready to have a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment. And I wasn't going to be Chris. And rather than me, because my fist balled up, I was getting ready to I felt an assault charge. I was so angry. My blood had never boiled like that. Yeah. It just reminded me of people who gave up on me. And I was almost one of the ones who gave up on myself. And so to live through dying places, was nothing but the grace of God and a blessing. And that's why I do what I do. I mentor our young brothers. We've started, as I've been pastoring over at the Remnant Worshipers Ministry for the past 8 months, we've started a men's ministry called Iron Men to really develop our brothers. Why should the mosque be 80% men but 20% women? But the church is 80% women and 20% men.
20% men. Yeah.
Men want some practical wisdom. They want to feel valued. They want to feel as if they are empowered. And then they also want to feel really like they're loved, seen, heard, and valued as well. And we got to provide a community for that. And we're doing that, especially when they say less than 10% of churches, less than 70% of churches, actually 7% have a strong men's ministry. But we ain't going to be one of those 7%.
No.
We're going to strengthen our brothers for sure.
Got to.
Yeah.
Because we want them to lead, but then we're not giving them the tools to lead.
Absolutely.
They're watching all of the wrong things to lead, and it's okay to do this. Okay, we need some structure.
Yeah,
we need some structure, and it can get a little dangerous, in my opinion, sometimes. Because if you don't put all of your faith in man, you can't. We are humans. We make mistakes. So when young people see older people do things that they think they shouldn't do, it lessens how they feel about you. And that was always my biggest thing. But like, I'm not a mentor. I always don't look at what I do, because I might mess up, but sometimes that's the calling that's placed on you. It straightens you up when you know somebody else is looking at you. Not to be fake, not to be
just show them what's right.
Showing people what's right. It's not being fake. It's you gotta.
It's about being real.
It's about being real.
Not code switching or nothing. What y'all call code switching? It's not that. It's okay, God, somebody else needs to see God's light through me.
Through you, yeah.
That's the purpose.
Yeah.
And some people learn from what you go through. Like, I really think that some of my cousins and play sisters and, people I had around, seeing what I went through, as far as being a single mother and, doing all what I'm doing. And I think they looked at that and was like, okay, I don't want to have to go through that. And they did different things, and they did better than me. And I love that for them. Because no one wants to see somebody that they love struggle.
No.
No, nobody.
Not at all. But for them to be able to be like, okay, I seen you go through it and you made it, but I don't want to do or have to do what you had to go through to get where you are.
To get where you are. Yeah.
And we got to tell the truth. Like, no, you strong, you can do it, you can. No, being a single mother is not easy, people. Phone number 810-560-0658 if you want to call in. Today's topic is a deep one, guys.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we got
some people too. You see him? Oh, you ain't on there yet.
I am. Hey, Brittany. Brittany's checking in. Doretha, did I say I never want to say your name? I never want to say your name wrong. Amen is what you said. Hey, my best podcast. Hey, Taya. Am I saying Taya's name right?
Yeah.
All right. Doing our shout outs. Absolutely, God can and will use anyone for his purpose.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just like how you were saying you were diagnosed with cancer, back in 2014, I had blood clots. I ended up having 3 of them. And the day before, I was feeling fine, out on my motorcycle riding, doing my normal thing. Next day, end up in emergency, end up in Henry Ford. And when I got to Henry Ford, my son came in, arms wide open, crying. I was like, no, stop. I said, I ain't going nowhere. And his mama was like, she was like, you are such an asshole. Well, listen, I'm not going to.
Because you didn't want him to cry?
Yeah, because, like, no, we ain't about to do that. I ain't going nowhere. And I literally, once I started feeling better up to the day of my surgery, I was on the operating table cracking jokes till they put me out. And even the people in there, they were like, you are so stupid.
So were you scared?
I wasn't scared at all. But see, that was because of my faith, though. I
got faith too, but I was scared going under the knife when I had some surgery. I was petrified.
Because if you scared, what's the point of having faith?
I can have faith, but I can still say that's the feeling. Like, I feel like that's what I mean about being. That might be your feeling, but it's okay to be scared. I think that's a normal. I was scared going ziplining in Jamaica.
But that's
Now that's putting yourself
putting yourself at risk. Like I ain't doing
I was
that.
like, why am I doing this?
You be sitting there thinking like, what was I thinking?
Worst decision I ever made in my life. But I was in it, so I had to stay. And I didn't realize it was more zip lines. Like, we like, oh, we gonna go zip line. I thought it was one line. They like, no, we have 8 lines to jump, Rhea. And I was like, what do you mean? And they like, just give me your glasses. So they took my glasses because I can't see.
So you can't see.
So I
walk by faith, not by sight.
They like, you don't even see it coming.
I got people walking past me like, nope. After the first, they was like, oh, no. Because we walking up this crickety stairs and the wind blowing, and I was like, oh, I see.
And y'all way up high. This ain't no Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom ain't gonna be able to find me. My mom ain't gonna know I died in the jungle. This is all over my head. But that's a scary moment. I believe God. I had to go across the zip line. But that was was that foolish?
That was very foolish.
Yeah, if you were scared,
That's
You gotta push through your fear though.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
That's not a fear that you have to take on though. You somebody be like, let's go zip lining. Hell no.
You say,
I thought it was one line.
Like God is
we
not
just going
telling me to
higher
do
and higher.
this, so nah.
I was like, this was dumb. I
You
can't
know,
believe-
a lot of people that are scared of surgery, I think they're more so scared of going under and not coming back.
But you ain't gonna know.
But you don't know.
And
But I ain't gonna lie, I promise you, that was some of the best sleep.
They was.
you be good in sleep. You be good in sleep.
I was like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to
The
show
little
you,
pain fine, but
It
the
is.
rest, oh my God.
It is.
and to show you how
Said the
stupid
rest
I
is
was
worth
when
the
they had
pain.
me
Oh my
laying on
God.
the table. They had the little jar over my head, and it was like, I'm like, what is this? And they was like, oh, that's what we're gonna put you to sleep with. So they was like, count from 100 to 1.
And I was like, I don't remember none of that.
And me being stupid, I was like 100, 98. 90,
made it
and
to
it was just like
98?
I
You didn't get
got
past
to 98.
90.
But it was
You
like
passed.
once I got to 98, that was
That
it.
was it,
I
man.
couldn't even tell you what I got to.
I don't think I got
Wow.
to 90. Nothing. I was just like, I said, and I told him, I said, give me the good stuff because I got a high tolerance. I've been through a different surgery. I had brain surgery in 2013. So that's a whole nother topic. We'll save that for One Step Closer, Shani's podcast. 'Cause that's what she speaks on. And you
Yeah,
would be
Shani
an
gonna have us
excellent
all on her
guest.
podcast.
You would be an excellent guest for her podcast because you can get
Oh, I love
deeper
it.
into your story and your books because I want to talk about your books.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that stuff is some good stuff. I'm all like, yeah, give me something. I got a high tolerance. He was like, ma'am.
Yeah.
He said, count. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I said I want to watch. I was getting a colonoscopy. I was getting a colonoscopy. So I was like, I want to watch. I had them cracking up, but I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
I had them cracking
Yeah.
up because it's just how I cope with things. And a lot of times when I am in pain, people don't know I'm in pain because I'm so used to laughing. So even in the hospital, they're like, they thought I was bipolar. And that's
nothing wrong
science.
with it.
And I said, there's nothing wrong. I said, there's something wrong with me because I'm in the hospital. I'm in pain. But
Right.
I don't. My grandmother always said, and I always have my lipstick on. I'm going out. She like, you just because you don't feel good, I mean, you can't look good.
You ain't got to look like what you feel.
That's what she, and that
Yeah.
just stuck with me. So it is what it is. I might be feeling bad, but I ain't got to make your day bad
You ain't got,
because
Yeah.
because people are so mean to nurses. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
They so mean sometimes. And have you've been in the hospital?
Yeah, I've been on that aspect of seeing people who I mean are nurses, but I've also seen nurses who were so mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had a few of them.
Yeah.
Lord have
Where they
mercy.
at? I bet they mad now. Oh, sorry.
Borderline racist, but that's for another conversation.
Yeah.
I've had that as well.
Yeah.
They make judgment calls or racist statements that they don't think is
Yeah.
racist.
Oh yeah.
And I,
Like, oh, you got a lot of visitors.
Yeah.
Like,
and I,
Why wouldn't I?
why wouldn't I?
and me
People
myself,
love me. What do you
Right,
mean?
right.
yeah. And me myself,
Speak
I feel
for
like that
yourself.
is so.
Yeah.
That I feel like that is so stupid. Like it's 2025. Why are people still racist? Like that is so stupid.
It's
Like,
inbred. It's taught.
Yeah,
Racism is
but
taught.
it's like y'all ain't got nothing else to do by now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's you. That's all you.
Yeah, racism in the medical industry is serious. It's not a addressed topic much,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, people fighting
Yeah.
for their lives and still can't get
And-
access to good quality health care and all that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
Serious.
scary because we messed up out here so much with. It's so many things we could dive into. We need a 2-hour show because the state of the world.
We need a 2 hour
I
show.
said we would. I would never. I told you
Oh,
that's gonna be y'all own podcast. I'm not doing a 2-hour
Okay.
show. No, ma'am, no sir, no bird.
We gonna call you Lord Winslow. We gonna be Steve. We wearing you down.
I gotta read this. I like this flyer. Can y'all see this? I like this. All right, it says, "Hey neighbor, the remnant. Is it remnant? I hate to pronounce things.
No, you said it
incorrectly.
right.
You said it
The
right.
remnant
Yeah.
is ready to receive you. Welcome home. Our motto is faith, family, forward. We are intentionally increasing your faith, embracing you with love as family, and providing strategies to move forward successfully. Tell somebody and bring somebody. Prepare to be revived at the remnant." Pastor Eddie Connor. I love this.
That's right.
Join us at the remnant for our word and worship service. All right, look, guys, Sundays 10 a.m. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Oh, y'all got Tuesdays?
Yep, Tuesdays. Yep, TNT Tuesdays is what we call it. Truth and Transformation. That's our Bible study.
Okay, that's what's up.
And this is at the church. This is
It's
not.
at the church.
It's not
It's
virtual.
No, well, it's virtual as well. But
Okay.
you know, it's always better to come inside and
It is.
fellowship and connect.
It is.
You know,
Shout out to my
step
pastor
up
at
in
my
the
church, Union Grace. I do
Grace, all
have
right.
a church home.
Yeah, what's your pastor's name?
Pastor Reginald E. Smith.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
And my other pastor in Dallas, Freddie Haynes.
All right. You know,
So
yeah.
that's where I come from. I come from that school. So
Absolutely.
I know the word. Like my pastor, what Pastor Smith always say, he's been praying for my filter. I said, well, Doc, you see, I got a podcast now. I've been doing this 4 years. So
Prophet is raw but real.
Yeah.
he just be like, I love you anyway. But
Yeah.
but he's always brought the word and brought it in a way where you can understand, and it's not fire and brimstone, because that's what we came from, though. And we had to evolve in not changing the word, but how we get the word out. I don't think the word doesn't change. The word is the word.
No, that's right. The word is what it is.
Right.
So I think it's a very slippery slope on how we receive it or
See,
we
yeah.
perceive it.
Yeah.
Better words, maybe. Interpret it.
Oh yeah, the
'Cause-
methods change, but the message remains the
message
same.
There you go.
Same.
See, eloquent. Eloquent.
Yeah.
What video I have for the topic, Shane? Did I have one? Shane got me on point. It's not the communion that I'm drinking that's making me like this. I'm just had a lot going on. We'll discuss it off
You
camera.
had communion.
Yeah.
Women, and here's my theory, and I could be completely wrong, and the internet probably gonna destroy me for this, but I think women that have more than 2 baby daddies usually have some sort of mental illness.
Really?
Yeah, because you're getting genetically modified too much.
Right, when you-
I think, okay, so this is what I know. Every time you get pregnant, right, there's stem cells that come from that baby, and them stem cells end up behind your eyes and your brain and your heart and your lungs and stuff and help your organs heal while the baby taken from you. And those stem cells will always stay with you, right? So that means that man is always in you. And that is why,
Ooh,
that
that makes
the Bible says you will only desire your husband. Correct. This is why you gotta use condoms, because that baby better get up inside you, and the uterus is very porous, much like the mouth, right? So when anything goes up in there, it automatically the uterus starts to absorb it. It starts going through the vaginal walls and all that, and the blood it gets into the bloodstream, right? And so so it takes like
get in there.
so it takes like 6 weeks to get a man out of your system if you have unprotected sex, and it's because he's starting to bind to your DNA, right? That like, and that's why it's couples when they be together too long, they start looking alike. You start looking like him. Like it's not the guy don't start looking like her. She start looking like him because he is genetically modifying her, and every time you get pregnant by him, you start to get modified, right? So if you get pregnant by multiple peoples, right, that's multiple spirits, multiple thoughts, multiple modifications from a different DNA strain to have mental stress. So it's very evident. Like what I'm saying is very evident. It makes sense because like you got all these dating apps, all these women like free sex, free this, whatever. You know, I'm doing money. I'm living it. I'm exerting my sexuality and all this. And I don't care if I got 5 kids or 5 baby daddies, whatever. Usually those bitches are mentally, they're struggling in so many different ways, not just financially, but also just like on where to focus, how to whatever, because you got too many different bloodlines in your blood.
Too many kids. I mean,
You have mental illness. So that was my theory on sperm.
That makes sense.
That's very.
And that's why you can't
deep.
just.
Sorry,
That's why you have to use condoms, ladies. That's why you have to use condoms. We cannot genetically modify men. Now,
Look, let me tell y'all something. People think Tiffany Haddish crazy as frog hair. And that ain't no sense because frog hair is something I say. But I'm rocking with what she's talking about. I'm sorry. I kind of agree with it. I kind of agree with it.
It's raw, but there's some real connotation.
I kind of agree. I see what she's saying.
Yeah, so
And I mean, I'm not trying to say you mentally ill. That's kind of a strong thing because she's getting a lot of backlash from that.
No.
But I do think, like they talked about on Rise and Grind Morning Show this morning, talking about if women are mentally ill, what is Nick Cannon? Is Nick Cannon mentally ill for trying to impregnate multiple women and build a legacy off of his children?
Yeah. And he can't even remember all their names. He said, I don't know if y'all seen that, but they asked him, like, can you name all your children?
No, I did not see that. I wish I had that.
He forgot 2 of them. I was like, you just out here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's deep to me. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
I agree.
That's the topic, Britt. Silent tears. That we silent tears.
I mean, it's indicative of the hookup culture. You know, everybody's, we're treating relationships like it's Wi-Fi. You know, and so, it's on to the next one, and it becomes, rather than a soulmate, you've got a soul tie. And you think about even for women, it can be argued that it's even more deleterious to their destiny because a woman is an incubator by nature.
Correct.
She's a receiver by nature.
Exactly.
And so, everything that takes place is within emotions and all of those things. And so when you're thinking about that, it becomes really devastating to relationships, to where men don't want to even go down, the altar to a certain degree, or have an aversion to it, don't even want to explore the notion because of hurt and pain and that both parties have experienced. And so when you look at all that, I mean, there's some factual things there, and there's even evidence based too.
Exactly. I was like, she's speaking it. I can't even trip. What she said it takes. Brittany said, again, we are the only community out here condoning broken homes. Yes, Brittany. And I do not condone it. We come from different place. You just can't lay down with anybody. But that's what we're doing. We say these things, but we know that's what we're doing. I'm not saying us personally, but it's a lot of us.
It's a lot of
us out there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You be like, not this week. You look smiling at me like.
You hear what I said? You can say personally.
I'm not. But
everybody I date, I don't sleep with. But you know me. I'm outside.
Yeah.
She said I'm outside.
You're trying to come inside. Is the question.
I go inside too, but
she go inside to go to sleep.
I didn't yesterday. That's what's wrong today.
Women are receivers, so and that's why we have all these things. We have the yoni steams. We have the bath, like to steam all of this stuff out of you, and you just stop.
Yeah.
We can get stuff going on with us way before men do. Way before men do. So it's just not a good look, ladies. Not you, G. I'm not saying that. You baby know what I'm saying.
I didn't say that.
Because I know she about to be like,
I don't take things personal,
she don't.
ma'am.
No, she really don't.
Hey, Maria. But yeah, I had to go through my stages in life. And hey, Calvin, what's the deal? What up, folks? Those that's just tuning in. G baby, get in the house.
I'm going home right after this.
What happened to the generation of loving each other enough to correct but not condemn?
Some people can't be corrected.
Right. Some people just.
Do you really believe that?
Yes.
It ain't got nothing to believe. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I don't believe, but we still. What is our role in trying though?
You can try. That don't mean you're gonna be able to do it though.
But we still can try.
You can definitely try. And then you can also wear yourself out trying to keep doing the same thing and the same thing and the same thing. I mean, look, even with my brother, we didn't try. The system tried. He go right back. Like you can't. He's unfixable at this point.
Not unfixable.
Listen, he's been in there since he was 17, and he's 45.
Oh man.
And he been back out four times, I think. It's just that you can't get right.
Hey, family.
Some people, and then you can't get right. And then some people don't want any help or think that they can fix themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
They won't accept the help.
Cousin, I mean, I'm acting like I don't know. Some people aren't ready to receive correction. That is true, Brittany. But what do we? I guess I'm saying we can always. I'm solution based. So in this era of my life, in my silent tears that I cry, and trying to fix me, my goal or my calling is to fix others. And that sounds so weird to me even saying it. because I honestly am that person that don't really care. But that's how, what I tell y'all before, I know it's God when it's something I don't want to do. That's how I know God talking to me.
And
because it's not something that naturally that I would do myself.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the episode me and G did when you were on out taking care of business, and I was saying women take on the world. Men don't really do that. We just be like, oh, okay, all right.
So y'all don't care?
No, we really don't. You know, it's like, and I mean, honestly, like, if somebody came to me and was like, I need your help, I'll help you. But yeah, like,
Right, you helped when the tree fell on my mama's car.
yeah.
And I didn't ask for your help. I was like, why he following us?
Because that's what we do, and that's the thing with me. Like, if we really be there for each other. Like somebody out who I don't really, I'm like, yeah, I see you when I see you. Just, but yeah. Like,
Now Brittany just said, she said Jesus is the only fixer.
There it is.
That is in. I'm about to break something down. That is in theory, and it sounds good to say, but Jesus cannot fix something when you don't allow Jesus into your life.
and that's their fault.
But I'm saying we're not teaching about Jesus anymore.
And okay, so you're talking about more so the new generation.
The new
We're talking
generation
about-
is all spiritual.
And let's also go back to the topic too, because the people who have mental issues that don't properly get the help they need in advance, more so, and it gets worse later. Those are also people that's harder to change and fix. And some of the things that we know now with mental health, they didn't know back then.
Correct. That is true.
And God was definitely more involved in a lot more of the household than now, of course. But sometimes that mental illness, then if it wasn't found, picked up early on, it can get real bad.
I know. I'm living it.
Yeah,
And you can teach people about God. Teach your kids or whoever, and you can grow up knowing God, been in church, this, that, and the other, but you can get to where they be grown, and then they be like, "Oh, I'm more spiritual now." So that's
Todd,
this is
you
the
just hit
largest
nail on the head.
generation that has spiritual connection but no church affiliation.
No church affiliation. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because who gonna bury you?
Right.
All the funeral homes getting all the money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I ain't
Yeah.
mean to say it. Oops.
Yeah.
But I do want to own a funeral home.
I ain't gonna do
I
it.
do want to do hair.
Notice I said own. I want to own it.
Right.
I do. If y'all out there and
I
y'all
don't
need
want
us,
nothing to
I
do
want to
with
go.
I do.
You can have it.
Healthcare and death. You'll never go out of business.
You won't. You won't. I'll do the healthcare. The death part, I'm gonna leave that to you.
Yeah, I
go
can
there.
handle it.
I can do
I'm
it.
gonna just call you like, hey,
I
we
think
got
I can
another
handle
one.
it. I've seen it enough, sadly, but I don't. You have to have a balance of. As time changes, we change, but we need to keep
Core values.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And Todd said something. Bring Todd back up because I think it's.
I don't mind helping people,
Yeah.
but I can't deal with repeat offenders.
That's-
Absolutely.
that part.
It's the repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But how
Wow.
many times? And my pastor messed me up with this one. And I kept telling him I couldn't forgive somebody. And he said, okay, so do God said, he can't forgive you. I said,
Right.
that's different, Doc. I'm like, that's different. It's not. He said, no, it's not. It's just that simple. And I was like,
And I mean,
but you don't know what they did. And like, just because you forgive somebody don't mean you got to be best friends with
You don't
them.
have
That's
to
not what
deal
it
with them no
means.
more.
The forgiveness is for
Yeah.
you. The forgiveness is for you. And the healing is for you. And letting things go. But we let things fester. We let things still bother us. I think I did a post today about, I've been going through my timeline and I'm just seeing all these celebrations and parties that I miss because I'm working or I'm busy, but I'm still invited. It's the ones where I'm not invited and I see all this stuff. I felt some kind of way. And I was like, why am I getting mad? I ain't talked to these people in month of Sundays.
Because you care.
And I'm like,
You ain't, man.
but they ought to be at my funeral. That's how my mind went.
and
Y'all want to invite me to a party, but you be the first one trying to. I said, Mama, don't. You know who to invite in the house. These fake people. They ain't my friends. They ain't my friends.
that's why I said at my funeral I'm gonna have a guest list. If you ain't on the list, you can't come. You cannot come.
we had a barbecue. Jaden graduated this year. Thursday, and we had a barbecue. And when I tell you, it was people that I hadn't seen.
Pictures. Hey, Jay.
Look at
Engaged boy.
Him and his cousin
What is
graduated.
Pierre doing? I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna get him. He just
Because
wanted to do wild.
he had an appointment and he missed it. That's why his hair looked like that. That's the barbecue too, yeah.
I was looking at y'all little hot tails.
And we the block was crazy how many people showed up.
That's what's up.
But I
I'm mad I
appreciated
wasn't
it, and that's my baby too. But the thing for me was he threw this. It was all him.
He did because I saw his post.
He just asked me to provide and help him with the food, and he got on the grill. He did he did everything. I said, okay, cool. Okay. So. But the thing for me was, it was
Hey,
like people that showed up, people that showed up that I hadn't seen in years. I'm like, dang, I was shocked to see him, but I was happy to see him. But then you had people that were like, well, I didn't get invited. And I said, hey, this wasn't my event.
Yeah.
But if you saw it, you were more than welcome to join us. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I'm about to sit here and invite every person.
So let's talk about that.
I can't do it.
Let's talk about proper invitations.
Yeah.
So in today's day and age now, is a Facebook invite really an invite?
It is these days.
It's not to me.
I'm straight going with yes.
It's not to me.
You know how many people I know? I don't have time.
Right.
It's personal.
It's
Right.
personal. Okay, and Shani is way younger than us. So if she's thinking it, we got a 10-year difference here.
I know too many people. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And then if I was to personally send out invitations and forget someone,
yeah.
I mean,
there
it's
really be
it's just
The personal touch does make a difference.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I'm not disagreeing, but listen, if y'all live this life I live,
Right.
I'll say, oh no. I'm gonna tag some people, hopefully you see it.
That's interesting.
If I see you, I'm gonna let you know. I can't do the private.
And you at a church, so you can't personally invite everybody to church.
Correct.
So
That's
I
true.
get it.
That's true.
But I mean, like a party, your birthday. I think that's a personal invite. I gave you personal invites.
Yes.
I posted stuff, but
There should be some
I
folks you
gave
don't want
personal
coming.
invite.
Yeah.
And then the people, that's the thing I hate. I hate people that ask you, what you doing for your birthday? What you doing for your birthday? And then I do something, they don't show up.
They don't show up.
You know, I had people.
Small talk.
For my bingo thing, I had people who actually paid and they didn't show up. But you're not getting your money back.
Right. Right.
It's
And that's
over.
another thing. I
You
be like,
should have came.
I think my 50th, my 50th, I'm gonna be out of the country. Not going ziplining again, but
You go
I want to
ziplining
go to
again,
Jamaica.
we
I'm
all
not.
gonna whoop you.
I promise.
What
I'm
part
not.
of Jamaica?
Where was I at? Where did I go for
I
Corey
grew up in
wedding?
Jamaica, actually.
Did you?
Yeah,
We
man,
probably
Kingston.
cousins.
Okay.
Rasta.
Kingston, yeah, man.
You
Real
want
Kingston.
Yeah, man.
You said you from Jamaica?
I grew up there, yeah.
Which part?
Kingston.
I've been in the grill. I love the
Oh,
grill.
I didn't go to Kingston,
I
but
love
that's
the
where my
grill.
family is from. Kingston.
Really?
Angus, the Angus family. That's a very common
Oh,
name
come on now.
in Jamaica.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Look at that.
We might be relatives.
Look at that. Look at that. Say it again. No,
You
I've
been in
never
the
been in the grill. I've never been there. I've never really been out of Kingston.
I love this so much. I
Where
said, if
was
I
I?
ever get married, that's where I'm getting married. Even if I married myself. I'm going.
And really get into this. Okay, and some people really get into their feelings if don't get an invite. I do. I'm one of them people type.
Yeah, they
I
do.
used to never be that way. The older I get, I'm starting to be like, really? But it's only from people that I thought I was close to.
And that's
It's not from everybody. But
Yeah.
those people that's in my circle. Now, it's not like my visitor thing. I'm talking about her. Her son just graduated from high school, and the celebration was in New York. I'm not talking about you, visitor. I know I couldn't make it to New York, but her whole family was there. It was beautiful. I was so happy they all showed out.
That
for
was
her.
nice.
But yeah, you look at all of that like, oh, that's the family.
And then, like you said, you can't make everything.
You cannot. Like my girl, her birthday is coming. She's in Houston. I want to go, but I was like between work and
When is
not.
it? I represent. I'm going the week after.
You are the end of July.
the end of July.
I'll go for you.
Gee, we going. I'm gonna go buy my swimming trunks when we leave.
Where was I? In Ocho Rios? I don't know where I was at. My best friend got married, and I don't remember what part of Jamaica he
I
was
think
in.
you might. I think it was Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
Yeah.
That sound about right.
I know. I know too much of
It
your
sound
life.
about
That
right.
sound
I know
right.
too much of your life, Fred.
You do. It's the good thing. It's
Yeah.
when I have break, I can't remember everything. I'm gonna have to start putting posters up. I'm gonna be that person when I get older. Like, remember to smile. Remember to brush it. It's sad but true. Tears, silent tears. This is what I'm dealing with in my life, and people don't understand it because I laugh and I joke about stuff. But I'm the girl dealing with a lot.
About last month, and I just posted this on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen it, but the lady who said she needed some rest and didn't wake up, and I was like, this is why people be like, because I'll take breaks and when I be like, I'm turning my phone off, I'm not answering my phone. I need sometimes. That's why I said when I had that rest, I needed that because I do a lot and I don't rest the way I should on the regular. But at the same time, it's like one of those things where my aunt asked me last month. She was like, "Are you okay? How you been?" And I don't know what happened, but I was just like, "No." And I just broke down crying like, I am not okay.
Yeah.
And you know how you used to, people asking you always like, yeah, I'm fine. I couldn't say I was okay at that moment. I was just like, no. She's like, park your truck, get your ass over here, come talk to me. So then I was just like, I don't know, I was overwhelmed.
You're overstimulated.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then I didn't know, I couldn't specifically say what was wrong. I just knew I was tired.
You know what I do? I scream in the pillow. That's the best release I've ever. When I get overwhelmed, I have to scream in the. When I worked at the plant, I had heat exhaustion, I was delirious.
I could see that.
In the medical, and so I'm just crying, and I was really emotional because I was high. I was going through all these emotions, and the nurse was like, "Here," she handed me a pillow, and I was like, "What? Why are you handing me a pillow?
You want to go lay down?"
Call my mama.
She said, call my mama.
Oh, my mama.
I said, well, my mama, I'm just tired. I said, I can't stand it. I'm overwhelmed. She came in up and she was like, I'm going to step out. She said, scream. And she closed the door. And I'm standing there looking at the pillow like, this is crazy. That's how I feel stupid. This lady told me to scream in the pillow.
You had no makeup?
I took my glass. I had no makeup on in the plant. I ain't look like that in the plant.
Like, wait a minute.
I was a whole dude in the plant. That's a whole nother story.
Man, what?
Shout out to Local 140, Warren Trump.
Man, what?
I took it, took my glasses off, and just like
in the screen, in the pillow,
in my shoulders, I was like, whew. I said, okay. I was hoarse for a couple days because I screamed.
You screamed.
I let loose.
She was at the mountaintop.
Yeah,
she was out there. Woo.
Right.
I let
you
loose.
been needing a boo side.
I've been wanting to go to one of those smash rooms.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to do that.
That's a good business that we should look in.
Yeah.
People, we have so much. Speaking of the business, Legal Shield. Y'all know I'm talking about Legal Shield on the episode.
Dang, did my pay?
I hate that we don't look out for ourselves. I hate that we don't. We think everything is a scam. We think everything is a hustle. We think, well, why would I pay that much? If you can budget in weed for your smokers.
I'm not.
Y'all budgeting weed and alcohol in y'all budgets for the month. You can't pay $39.95 for legal protection. It baffles my mind. But anyway, I digress.
Just like life insurance, but go ahead.
Yes, life insurance as well.
Yeah.
Now my life insurance is a little bit more than $30. But I still pay it. I
think mine is 40.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. And I got insurance with the girls. Like, you have to have insurance on people. It's not weird. Let's normalize that, okay? Let's normalize getting health insurance and not doing GoFundMes.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how old were you when you went through your cancer?
I was 15.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I meant to ask you that earlier, but I didn't.
Are you married?
I'm not married. I'm just married to ministry right now.
That's a good answer, because you know the DMs are going to blow up. He is married to ministry, ladies. Yes. Okay? Do not DM me. Do not ask me if the pastor is single. I asked the question for you because I know those.
Go ask him yourself on Sundays.
Yeah, that's right.
And Tuesdays.
That's right. 10 a.m. on Sunday.
Talk
this
to
Sunday's
the Lord.
a great time. Tomorrow's a great time. 7 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday.
You want to get to him, get to know the Lord.
That's
okay?
Right. That's right.
Ask God first. Why you there?
Because men still have eyes, but that don't mean they looking deeper than that. Okay?
That's right.
So have something to give, ladies. We got to start being a safe place for our men again. I fumbled the ball a couple times. I'm fumbled the ball a couple times on good men.
A friend of mine, an old coworker from the plant, asked about choirs. She was like, I'm noticing a lot of the churches don't have choirs anymore. You looking? Yeah. So some people were saying it was due to COVID. And then COVID keeps coming back around and all of that stuff. And then I remember my grandfather was in the men's choir.
Yeah. I was in the choir.
I was in the choir.
I was in the choir.
I was made to be in the choir.
No, yeah.
But
it
was.
I was a bass. No, just joking.
Me and my little brother stood there.
Y'all just stood there.
We Milli Vanilli'd our
I couldn't Milli Vanilli. I had solos.
I joined the choir because the girls was in the choir. That's what
My mama was like, boy, y'all getting in the choir. We was like, okay.
And that's crazy too, because parents will put the kids in the choir.
Yeah, it was
can't sing a note.
And when they
It was either the choir or the usher board.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
And
one
when
of
they
the two.
mess up, that's what they say. What they say, sang for the Lord, baby. It's okay, baby.
Like, you
catch
ain't-
in the spirit when you start crying.
Like, you ain't hear him tell me, boy, be quiet. Like,
You like, no.
We used to have to sing the song, Yes, Jesus Loves Me. We had the different parts. Me and my girls. Shout out to Shashara. See, I'm still cool with my childhood friends.
We had
People are
Easter
weird to
speeches
me.
and everything.
Yeah.
Lord, I had a time.
When people that you know in older age and they don't have no friends from their childhood, I'm leery of people like that.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm leery of it.
Yeah, something wrong.
Why you don't have no friends, man? Why you don't have nobody that you call? Well, I don't get along with people. People just don't understand me. You might be the problem. You gotta be okay with that.
There you go.
You gotta be okay with it.
Self-awareness.
Show yourself friends.
Something wrong with
That's
you.
Yeah. When I started feeling like I didn't have friends, our friends weren't showing up for me, I had to figure out, was I showing up for them? Period. Because people get tired. So I'm like, okay, am I showing up? Am I being the best friend to a person that I can be? Because I get caught up in my own stuff.
Yeah.
And we all do.
So I asked that question about the choir. You guys still do the choir?
We do the choir.
Okay.
We do the choir. We do our choir. Our choir comes in because we got our women's choir. We also got our men's choir as well. We brought back the choir.
The old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we got a good mix of contemporary and traditional,
Okay, so
which
it's
I
a
think
whole
we able to
choir.
marry the two. Absolutely.
Y'all got robes.
We ain't got no robes.
Okay. All right. But is everybody color coordinated on Sunday?
Color coordinated.
That's what I'm saying.
And even if they out of color coordination, they still looking good.
Okay.
They still look good.
Because it's not about that. Right. It's not about that.
That's right.
But it is a
Would you say
distraction.
sing for the Lord?
Sing for the Lord.
We do everything but march in. I'm gonna tell them I want you marching in next
Okay,
time.
yeah.
Well, you know, we got the
come marching
communion
in,
anyway.
everybody be
I'm
on
saying, let's go marching in.
I'm gonna be right there, just like, yeah.
Oh, when the saints
Right.
go marching in. Well,
You know, people come to church after Saturday night. I've done it before.
Oh, man.
I want Dr.
yeah.
Dr. Pastor.
I done came in on some Sundays right
Before.
after a Saturday night.
Oh my God.
Y'all
Me
know what
too.
okay, no.
It's the
I'm
truth.
serious.
It's the truth.
I made it, baby. I made it. And I was
Man.
like, Pastor, don't come close.
Yeah,
Come
like
close. Wow.
he be.
I'm here.
But you made it to hear the word.
Yeah. I might fall asleep between,
So how old were you guys when you started applying the word to your life? Because just because you go to church don't mean you apply it to your life.
I think. Well, let me say this, and I went. Okay, I'm a member of a church in Dayton, Ohio, St. Timothy Baptist Church, because my grandmother.
Not St. Timothy.
Yes, because my grandmother made us go all the time. Like whenever I go to Ohio, we're going to church. I did my Easter speeches in Ohio. All of that stuff was in Ohio. But my neighbor was also a pastor of a church on Joy Road next to the post office on the other side of the tracks, and he had us come. He had the van pick us up, the whole neighborhood. The parents was like, all right, y'all can go. And we had fun in the beginning because we're kids, it's something to do. And then we ended up joining the choir and, participating. I think we were like 13 maybe. And then we started to sit down and not play around and, pay attention. And, I think our parents were pushing us to do that sometimes too, because we would go during the week and all of that stuff. So I think I was like 13. But as an adult, I stopped. And I don't know what made me stop. I think, well, let me say this. The church that I used to go to closed.
Okay.
And then it was like all these mega churches were popping up, and I'm like,
the remnant.
I like the small churches.
I'm recruiting.
Yeah.
You got a small church.
We do.
I like the small churches.
I like what the word is. I don't.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
much more
matured
personal.
in the word.
Yeah.
Not to say you're immature, but when I started going to church to hear the word and not the choir, I knew I was grown.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I started going,
That's good.
because I was like, oh, I mean, that's the atmosphere. You said the choir sets the atmosphere. Don't ever sleep on the choir. It's not just about entertainment. It sets the atmosphere for the word to come forth and for the atmosphere to be set in the spirit. But that word, that's my food. That's when I want to just hear the word, and I started just searching, sermons. That's when I was like, okay. And I did probably in my 30s.
Okay.
30s. I'm 48. So
Black don't crack.
thank you.
Brown won't let you down.
There you go.
Beige don't age.
There you go.
Tan got
the liquor,
plain.
y'all.
There you go.
And lie to do you right.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you. You say you're single, right? Okay. No.
That is what I said.
We know
Well.
if she lingering around in the parking lot after the show, we gonna be like,
The first lady who forgot that I was supposed to be on the show.
yeah.
She forgot she had a husband.
I be like, no, forgive me.
Man.
I was
He
coming
knows my
home.
heart.
You know it's my heart. Yeah.
Man, if I ain't told the Lord that so many times.
But this is a great show. See, this sense of humor. I need y'all to understand that the Lord has a sense of humor, and laughter is good medicine.
It
And
is.
he knows that he made fools.
Yes.
And you are looking at some of the best.
This is one of the deacons. What's your church?
Yeah.
Shout out to church deacon.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You said shout out to church deacon. Okay.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I was having a foolish moment. New Jerusalem Temple Missionary Baptist Church, 17330 Finkel, under Bishop Lawrence James, London.
All right. Yeah.
Come out and check us.
Yeah. Lawrence, London. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good
sir.
people. Good people.
Yeah.
That's good.
Some good ones out here.
Yeah.
I don't speak ill on pastors. I don't know too many bad. When people make comments about it, I don't get into all that.
But it's more church goers that speak bad on the pastors.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
It's
For
like,
sure.
oh no, he not right, and he don't, and he did it. He like, what?
I remember Dr. Freddie Haynes, but speaking on mega churches, when I moved to Dallas and had to find a church home, because when I left, I said, Doc, I'm going to move. I said, I got to find a church home. That's the first thing I got to do when I get down to Dallas. He said, well, Mount Alpha Brothers, you can check out TD Jake's church, but, I got Freddie Haynes. My god brother, Jeremy Haynes, was a member there. So I visited different churches. Each Sunday, me and my cousin would go. But then I think I went maybe 3 times to Friendship West, and I was just like, it's huge. Like TD Jake's church Potter's House is huge. And it wasn't for me. Not because of this huge, it's opportunist there. That spirit of opportunist was a lot. It was heavy for me. And I was like, I don't know if this for me. I need somebody I need to be able to at least talk to my pastor.
Talk to him.
Just a little
That
bit.
part.
I ain't got to know you and be best friends with you.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to reach out.
You want to be able to reach out. Yeah.
So when I met Dr. Haynes, 3 times I went. After the 3rd time, I said, you don't know who I am? He was like, oh my God, y'all. He's like, get a medic. This lady don't know who she is.
Wow. He's smooth like that,
This is my bishop. This is my doctor right here. This is my bishop. So ever since then, and he said, Rhea, I don't have a.
I'm gonna use that.
He said, I have the mega church is just, the term of mega church is just that. He said, I got members that don't want to be seen, and I got members that want to be seen.
Right.
I got members that want to work. I got members that want to just donate.
Yeah.
It's up to you. He said, I don't control that. You control that. He said, I see you as much as you want to be seen. And I've been a member of that church. When Pastor Haynes and his wife come here, I see them. We go out. That's my pastor. So I salute those that have just because it's a mega church don't mean that they can't. It's you.
And
It's all about how you give
can agree
and
with
talk.
that.
And
I think it's just over. I think too, like I said, the way I was raised in the church that I grew up in is what I'm used to. I'd probably say that might work out a little better. But like you said, I want to be able to reach. Like the pastor was coming to the house, eating dinner with us and all that.
Right,
and
then Pastor Smith.
Yeah, like
when my sister's fiance passed, he was right there at the house.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, y'all act right, Pastor here. Act like y'all got some home
Act
training.
like y'all got some home training."
Yeah. No matter how mega ministry is, there's always going to be a remnant of workers, though. You know, there's always going to be a small core that's going to do more than just the attendees there. So it is in any church, no matter how big or small it is, always going to be those willing workers, those individuals who are going to step up. And if you come to a particular church with your own agenda in mind, you're always going to be disappointed. You're not trying to serve the purpose of the vision. You're trying to have the vision serve you.
There you go.
Right.
Exactly.
And so, you're out of alignment with the divine assignment of what it is that God wants to really impart.
You know what? He's a pastor. He's a pastor. I hate we running out of time because we got videos to go through, but drop your information, please.
Absolutely.
Please.
Listen, I appreciate just the opportunity to have this raw, real talk conversation.
Thank you.
Y'all cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The other side that she don't scream.
The other one that she don't scream into. You forgot me, but God didn't. So
There you go.
God did. Oh, there we go. There we go. I like to say the revolution not only be televised, it'll be digitized. So connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. We don't stop at EddieConnorJr. Put some respect on my name, EddieConnorJr. I got an amazing book out there. It's my 19th book. It just dropped about a month and a half ago or so. It's called Know Your No.
No, you're not.
How to build healthy boundaries and love without losing yourself. You got to know who to know. You also got to know who to know, so that you can really tap into the greatness of who it is that you are. I'm the pastor of the Remnant Worshipers Ministry. We've got amazing services. God meets us there every single Sunday and Tuesday. Sundays at 10 a.m. and then Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for what we call TNT Tuesdays, Truth and Transformation. That's our Bible study. You can connect with us at 20470 Hubble Street is where we're saving you a seat. Church Alive is worth the drive. 20470 Hubble Street in the city of Detroit, West 8 Mile in Hubble.
All right. Okay. That's a nice picture. Look at her.
That's what I said. Don't be in my DM, ladies.
They about to be on it. So
if they watching and sharing this, they gonna be in everybody's DM.
Do it.
Like, what's past the number?
Lord have mercy.
Just gave you the address. You better come to your word.
That's the number right there, 20470.
There you go.
We got to say real quick, Darnell, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
We got beautiful pictures of him and his wife. How many years?
Thank you.
There's
6
Rachel.
years. 6 years.
They just celebrated their anniversary.
Backstory, me and her went to high school together. That's my boo.
You got to make it about you, huh? It's their anniversary.
That's all right.
I knew her first.
That's all right.
But we love Rachel. We love Darnell. We thank you guys for tuning in.
Oh, that was a gift.
That was her. Oh my God, Jess.
All right,
She was, man. I thought she was gonna fall out the bed, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is them shoes?
She got you laced, brother. She got you laced.
No, them was hers.
Those are hers?
Oh, those are hers.
Yeah, them was hers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, with some shoes.
yeah.
You made it look like a big old foot. I didn't know. Thank you.
No, well, she a big foot.
She ain't.
No, I'm just saying,
Rachel, I got you.
Big stepper.
No,
Yeah.
Because
That's
her
right.
feet is bigger than mine.
Yeah.
She's stepping on her foot. She's
she, man.
I love
She
that.
be like, I'm gonna put my foot on your neck. I'm like, all right, I quit.
Well, Shandy is gonna be going over our time. We got a new segment called "Laughter is Good Medicine." So we're gonna try to get. We got time for one or two, or what we got? We got time for videos. All right, y'all. Till next week. Love on each other.
Bye.
Yes.
That's all I got. I forgot.
You forgot again.
I'll explain later.
Sweet Lord.
When words fail, tears speak. Prayers too deep for words. That was the topic. That was our day. Thank you for tuning in to Raw But Real. See y'all next week.
We love
Monday,
y'all.
6 o'clock.
See y'all next week.
All right, now we're gonna watch the laughter videos.
What's-
just so good. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul.
Raw, but real. Let's get it. Mondays at 6 p.m. We get live. We get busy in here. We get live. We get busy in here. We talk. Raw. We talk. Real. Raw but real.